Hey everyone, Chief Meteorologist Mike Bowling here in the Channel 3 Weather Center. We're going to talk about the snow moving through the area. Give me 1 second and I'm going to get going. I got to get going over here. As you just heard it on my phone if you're watching this later on. I'm going to start out this video by saying I'm recording this at 2:30 p.m. on, well, Wednesday afternoon, of course. If you're watching this at closer to that 4 o'clock, I would check back for newer information at this point, as things will likely change here very quickly. Give me 1 second here. We're going to talk all about it. There's snow already moving through our northwestern counties and really most of our western counties at this point. I got the radar image up. I'm going to show that, of course, too. Let's see here. 1 second. And we're going to get into this. Be sure to fire away questions. Let me know. And that's actually what I'm putting in the comments so people that join later will know. 4 more. Okay. So as you can see here, I've upped some of our snowfall totals, especially for our northwesternmost counties, northern Wilbarger into a good portion of Tillman, western Comanche, and Jackson County. 2 to 3 inches of snow possible. If you're seeing snow right now, let me know. I know a lot of our western counties are already seeing the snow. But it's going to start moving across more further on to the east here as we go forward into this evening. Alright, got the comments up here to the side. Oh yeah, I'm always here to give you the updates, and that's what we are about to get into. So, you noticed from yesterday, the big change there is adding that 2 to 3 inch mark where we could see some snowfall over 2 inches in our northwesternmost counties. Further outside of that, 1 to 2 inches still possible, especially, we've added northwestern Wichita County into that. I added that last night. Wichita County and Cotton County today, earlier on, were added to our winter weather advisory. I know a lot of our viewers are obviously in Wichita Falls. I think Wichita Falls is still going to be an inch or less of snow. I don't see us quite getting over an inch at this point. I think most likely scenario really for Wichita Falls is probably closer to about a ½ inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch at the highest. Can't rule it out, but it's still not that likely at this point. So I'm seeing a lot of comments already. Baylor County is starting to get hit pretty soon here. I'm going to show the radar image here in just a moment, and we're going to go into that. I just talked about Wichita Falls. Yeah, snowing and burning right now. I've been hearing about the snow and burning. I've been told about that quite a bit throughout today. I'm sure it's been snowing in Quanah. People watching in Burke love to see that too. All right, so Archer City, yes, we got. I love it when we get as many people from as many of our towns as we can on these lives. It really makes me know that we're getting to everyone, and that's the whole goal of this coverage, to make sure everyone is getting their weather coverage. All right, so looking at our winter weather advisory, that's going to be including now Stevens County as well. Stevens County has been added to that winter weather advisory with 1 to 2 inches possible. As I said earlier on today, Cotton County and Wichita County were also added. Last night we added Comanche County, and the original one was Ford, Hardeman, Jackson, and Tillman and Wilbarger counties. This is where we could see 1 to 2 inches of snow, and like I was just saying, in those northwesternmost counties, up to 3 inches possible too. So we're going to see a lot of snow here as we go throughout this afternoon and evening, starting to roll through. I'm going to skip through this. This is actually something I made yesterday. I'm just getting settled in here, so I haven't made everything for the show just yet. But here's the radar image. You can see snow falling across all of our western counties, really the western third of the area right now. The darker the blue, the heavier the snow that's falling. And you can see some heavy snow, just for some moderate to heavy snowfall, just moved through Altus. A little stronger pocket of snow about to move into Vernon right now. So we're seeing snow continuing to roll in as we go throughout the evening. Man, seeing a lot of comments. Yeah, you better give us more snow than last year, guys. No one wants more snow than last year. Come on now. We had plenty of snow. Snowing in Hardeman County, yeah. I mean, Hardeman County, everyone right now is getting snow in Hardeman. Quite a bit of snow. When is it going to get close to Wichita Falls? It's going to be continuing to roll in from the west here. Wichita Falls, earlier on I would have said closer to 5 to 6 o'clock. Let me pull up my phone radar app here. It's a little bit more accurate on the snow as far as the heavier totals. I would still say probably closer to at least 4 o'clock before Wichita Falls gets hit, maybe later. And I want to say, folks, I'm looking at my radar image right now. We got quite a few pockets, and I can see it on here too, quite a few pockets of moderate to heavy snowfall and mixed in here. It's not going to be all day long, but I think 2 to 3 inches in some spots based on the radar imagery I'm seeing right now. It's going to be a good possibility here as we go throughout the next few hours. So I'm going to zoom in here, and you can see in our northwesternmost counties, that's where we're seeing the heaviest of the snow right now. Some nice little heavy pocket. I'm going to look at my phone on it too. And yeah, heavy pocket going through, just went through Altus, and another heavy pocket about to roll in right now. So still heavy snow being dumped right now. Altus is one of those spots where we could see 2 to 3 inches. That's going to be the same story for Vernon and Frederick. Maybe in Quanah, probably 2 inches a good bet there in Quanah. Maybe getting up to that 3-inch mark, though. That can't be rolled out here as we go throughout the next couple of hours. It's going to start rolling in to western Wichita County and western Archer County here. And probably the next hour, maybe 30 minutes at the earliest, hour probably, more likely, though, to start hitting like Electra and start hitting closer to Dundee and all those areas in the western portions of those counties. Let's see here. I'm going to keep looking at this. And we're getting a lot of comments. I know there's some snow falling in Monday, too, right now. I just looked, another heavy pocket about to move into about to move into Bunday. And then we're also getting some more snow. It's going to start rolling towards Seymour, too. Let's see here. I'm going to keep looking at my app, too, because I get... One of the things that's a little bit annoying, I'll tell you some background info. One of our radar imageries isn't working, so the more accurate version of it is not... It's showing the rain, but it's not showing it as snow, so I decided not to use it during the live. But we can see it. Oh, sleeting. It's sleeting in Seymour right now. That's good to know. Okay. That's interesting. Thank you for letting me know that. Really, I wasn't expecting much ice today, so that's interesting. That means that there was a little warm layer on the front edge of this, and you can kind of see some of that mix right there in the eastern portions of Baylor County, some of that green, some of that pink. So what that says is there was a little warm layer right in front of the snow as it's starting to roll in the higher portions of the atmosphere that's melted some of the rain, or melted some of the snow, and then it refroze pretty high up in the atmosphere, though. So that's interesting to know. Good to know. Thank you for letting me know that. Oh yeah, I love doing these lives. Thank y'all for appreciating them. Henrietta watching right now. Now, see, as we get towards Clay County later on this afternoon, Clay County's really borderline. I think most people see some snow in Clay County. The southern half of Clay County may be less likely. Henrietta, you're very borderline. I would say probably a half inch or less as you go into Henrietta and most of Clay County there. The totals for Clay County just don't look to be as high. Really, we start to draw that line right on this winter weather advisory. I'll go back to it real quick. And you can see the winter weather advisory again here. That's really the line we're drawing. And really, I'm a little surprised they haven't considered adding, because the National Weather Service issues the advisories and warnings. I'm a little surprised they didn't add Knox and Baylor based on the current radar. I mean, well, no, I want to take that back, because it looks like some of the snow is moving through Knox right now, and it's a little bit heavier. That might be the only snow that we really see this afternoon for Knox County, and that probably includes Baylor County too. So we'll get a little bit more continuing snowfall in these other counties. So that's probably why they left it out, even though briefly here, you can probably see about a half inch of snow in portions of Knox County and Baylor County just here in the next hour. So we're still seeing a lot of snow being dumped there too right now. Now, of course, all these totals are nowhere near as some of the higher totals that we saw earlier on last year, last February, of course. So these are still fairly small totals, but this is the first real snowfall event that we've got. And we had that one about a month ago where we got some snow being dumped right on, right before, or was it New Year's Eve? I can't remember. I think it might have been New Year's Eve, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, or maybe just before New Year's Eve, or just after. No, it might have been New Year's Day, now that I'm thinking about it, actually. It was New Year's Day, wasn't it, that we had the snow the last time? And we just briefly got around an inch to maybe a couple spots getting an inch and a half, so we're getting a little bit more this time with this current winter weather advisory. Got a question about Burke, got a question about Holiday. Burke and Holiday, both of those spots, I would say probably closer to about an inch. Maybe, yeah, no, I'd say closer to an inch or less still for Burke and Holiday. I think that's really, so what's going to happen this time, and I'll actually bring it all the way back to the original snowfall map here, is you can see how quickly the snowfall totals change here. We go from that 2 to 3 inch mark, go a little farther east, and it drops quickly to that 1 to 2 inch mark, and then just outside of that is the dusting to 1 inch. It's what we call a gradient in the totals there. We change from high totals to low totals very quickly as you move east and away from that main center, that main heavier band of snow. And so that's why you travel, 50 miles to the west, you could see 3 inches of snow, but you go 20 miles east, all of a sudden you see barely any. That's one of these days here, and it's my least favorite kind of snowfall event, because it's nice when everyone's getting something, and I can say, oh yeah, everyone's going to get at least 2 inches of snow. Those are easier events to talk about, because everyone's going to get some snow, versus this case, where we're getting some totals up to possibly 3 inches, while portions of the area are getting nothing for snow. That's just one of those trickier places. Iowa Park, Archer City. Archer City, you're going to be very questionable here. You could get maybe as high as 1/4 of an inch, maybe a 1/2 inch on the outside, but likely going to be less than that in Archer City. As far as, where was the other question? Oh, Iowa Park. Iowa Park's pretty similar story there to Wichita Falls. I think we could see up to an inch of snow. I think Iowa Park's more likely to see an inch than Wichita Falls is, just because the farther west you go with this event, the better chance you're going to get for snow until you get to our western counties. Then you're starting to leave some of the higher snowfall totals for us anyway. But Iowa Park probably more likely closer to that inch, but probably not much more than that. I won't rule it out, but probably around an inch for Iowa Park for snowfall. So what time will we be moving through Burke and Wichita? I was talking about that earlier. Probably getting closer to about 5 o'clock is when we're going to start seeing the snow start to roll in. That's a little bit heavier, but maybe even later. And let's actually go through Futurecast here while I have y'all here. Let me zoom in. Okay, so we're going to look at 2 different models here. We're going to go through the timing here as the snow moves through. Now, this is showing 2:30 to start out. You can start to see it's just rolling in kind of slowly by 3:30. Then you get closer to 4:30, and still a lot of our western counties still seeing snow at 4:30 on this model. And then you get closer to 5 to 7 o'clock. That's when it starts moving through the central portions of the area, between 5 and 7. That's the most likely time frame. Start seeing snow throughout the central portions of the area. Then we start to see more of it in the eastern counties, and it's not going to last long in our eastern counties, except for Stevens County. You might get a little bit more just because you're located far enough north in Stevens County that you might get a little bit more of that snow. Before it starts to roll out, then we go back to partly cloudy skies as we go into Thursday. So here's the other model, though. This one's a little bit different. And I'll say this so much for the HER model. I think the timing on the HER model is not bad, but you can see it's a little bit behind here. We have more snow in the region and heavier snow in the region than the HER model was showing. So I want to take that into account when I'm thinking about these snowfall totals, that it's not picking up on the heavier snowfall rates that we're seeing in parts of the area, and it's not showing as much of it. So as we go farther off to the east, though, by 4:15, it's showing some light rain in Wichita Falls, and that's how it's probably going to start for us, some light rain the farther east you are, because we're a little bit warmer. Right now, Wichita Falls, I'm going to look at it here. I'm just going to pull it up myself, because the temperature is still, I think it's close to 40 right now. Yeah, it's 41 right now in Wichita Falls. So when the precipitation starts, it's likely going to be rain, and then it's going to start to transition over to snow. But as we go further on, by 6 o'clock, you're starting to see that transition to snow there. And then by 7 o'clock, you're still seeing snow in the region. And then I will give this credit to the HER model. It wasn't showing the heavier snowfall pockets earlier, but as we got into the evening hours, it starts to pick up on it. You can see some of those more darker blues starting to pop up there. That's some of those heavier snowfall rates that the model is starting to pick up on as we went into the later evening hours. And then it starts to get to our eastern counties later than the other model was showing. The HER model is much slower than the other model, the normal model that we show on Futurecast as we go into the evening hours. And then everything moves out, though, as we go overnight tonight. As far as roads are concerned tonight, now, in those areas where we get the 2 to 3 inches of snow, obviously that's going to have some impacts, especially on the smaller roads. Probably less impacts on highways just because we get a lot of cars rolling through. The good news is that we're not seeing much ice with this event. I know we got a report of sleet and Seymour earlier on in my live. I'm going to go through some more of these comments, so I know I'm still getting questions here, and I'll get to some more of those comments here in just a moment. But the good news is that we're not seeing as much ice. Now, some of the snow can get packed together, especially since a lot of the snow is wet snow, and then freeze as we go into the night, because we're still getting down into the 20s for our lows tonight. So any liquid or kind of watery snow will likely freeze tonight. That's going to lead to slick spots, especially in neighborhoods. But as you get farther out on the main travel roads, when there's cars moving across them all day today, that's going to lower those chances, except for, on the side of the road, where all the snow gets pushed to, all the liquid that melts goes off to. Those will be still some slick spots on the roads. But we're not looking for a lot of ice impacts as we go throughout tonight. Jaron Spoor just said that he is all ready to go live on Snowmageddon. You just text me that. This is not Snowmageddon, but thank you, Jaron, for saying that you're going to go live. All right, Graham. So I told you I would go through some of these comments. Now, go ahead and put back up on the radar imagery because I know it's what a lot of people want to see. So in Graham, probably not going to see much, maybe a few snowflakes. We're not looking for much accumulation, though, in Graham. Probably closer to a dusting or less. I got another question about Wichita Falls. Wichita Falls probably closer to a ½ inch. I think the highest total is an inch, but more likely closer to 3/4 of an inch for our higher end totals. I'm not sold. It's not impossible to see over an inch Wichita Falls, but I just don't see it as likely right now based on what I've seen throughout today. Gonna keep going through. Let's see here. I just want to keep. Let's see here. I'm going to make sure I don't miss any comments that are here. Yeah. Oh, so another question, Seymour. Very light sleets and snow mix. Thank you for letting me know that. Yes, Seymour seems to be getting. I've answered Burke Burnett. Okay. I think I've gone to a lot of our questions here. So I'm not going to worry too much more about questions right this second. Oh, we got some more. Okay, we got some more questions about Burke here. And we got a question about Nakona. Burke, once again, probably closer to 3/4 of an inch of snow, I think, is more likely. As low as a ½ inch, as high as an inch, probably more likely for Burke. And I want to be careful with that, too, because with these events, I mean, you could get from 10 miles apart, there could be someone that gets, 2.5 inches, while, 10 miles to the east, they got an inch, inch and a half. There's going to be a wide range in the snowfall totals just depending on where you're at with this event. This is not an event where we're seeing equal amounts of snow across the area. Then I think I got a question about, Nakona. Nakona, you're going to be much lower on the totals. You might see some snowflakes later on this evening, probably going to amount to less than a ½ inch, more likely just getting a little bit of snow on top of the grass. I don't think we're seeing many accumulations across anywhere in Montague County as we go into tonight. You just might see a few snowflakes as we go into the evening. All right, Windthorst. Windthorst also going to be... Windthorst is one of those ones that's borderline too. I would say your highest totals in Windthorst probably a ½ inch. I don't see Windthorst getting much more than that, but more likely probably only about 1/4. So you're just gonna see some snow on top of the grass. It's just not gonna be a lot of accumulations in Windthorst. I've answered Wichita Falls, Electra, Wichita Falls. I'll just say again, ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch. Wow. I'm sorry if I missed any comments. We're getting a lot of comments here. See here, Electra, probably closer to... I mean, Electra is going to be some of our highest totals in Wichita County, I'll say that much. So I think Electra gets at least an inch of snow. Higher in totals for Electra would probably be closer to 2 inches. And that's possible. I think it's probably more likely for Electra to be closer to about 1.5 inches. But I think we'll get to good snow totals in Electra too. Petrolia, yeah, so Petrolia, we're going to see totals. I mean, that's pretty similar to where we were talking about Henrietta earlier on. Petrolia, I think, probably close to a ½ inch. I mean, probably higher in totals, 3/4. I don't see us getting quite to an inch in Petrolia as we go later on this afternoon. All right, let's see what time it is. It's 2:48. I'm going to do some more of these lives here, too, throughout the day. I'm going to do some on my page as well. If you follow my page, Chief Meteorologist Michael Bowling, you'll be notified when I do that live, too. I'll probably do that later on in the 3 o'clock hour. I got to get the whole forecast done for today and get all the show and graphics ready. But I'll probably do that closer to 3:45 or 4 o'clock. I'll do another update on my page. I'll try to do another update on Texomashomepage.com, too, this Facebook page, to later on this evening. But it is getting close to about 2:50 here. And so I'm going to go ahead and end this live for now. I'm going to keep y'all updated throughout this afternoon. Like I said, I'll do it here and on my page. So be sure to follow that one as well. I will see y'all later. I got a lot of work to do before 5 o'clock.